Hey guys, welcome to my channel Linux King. My name is Salman Francis and I'm back with third part of our ethical hacking course. Today we are going to look at two things mainly. Number one is hacking stages and second is reconnaissance and footprinting. So without further ado, let's start. So basically hacking stages consist of five, you can say these are the 5 stages of hacking. Number one is reconnaissance and footprinting, which we are going to take a look at today. And please do remember that we are not going to do any lab today. So lab will be in our next video. So first thing we are going to look is at reconnaissance and footprinting. Then comes the scanning part or the enumeration, like scanning and enumeration. Third stage is gaining access. Then fourth stage is maintaining access. And the last is clearing tracks. So what we do in these stages. First thing is reconnaissance. Reconnaissance is the art of gathering information. Okay, and we'll take a look at reconnaissance today. So the more in this part we get the maximum information for our target, like in active and passive ways. Then comes the scanning. In the scanning portion or the scanning stage, we do scanning of our target network, get the maximum information also by directly interacting with the target, scanning it with different software and different tools. Then gaining access means once we have scanned our network, then we try to attack the network and we try to gain the access of this network or the system. Once we have the access of the system, we try to maintain the access with various like tools or by creating some backdoors and stuff like that. And then once we have this access or maintain the access, and now when our job is completed, we usually clear the tracks by removing the logs, event logs, or history of the machine, and then we quit the system. So these are some stages of hacking, and they are like I can see that my diagram is not very good, but this will explain to you actually how the things work in the world of hacking. So reconnaissance, then scanning / enumeration, gaining access, maintaining access, and clearing the tracks. So these are the 5 stages. Okay, so today we are going to take a look at basic information about what is reconnaissance and footprinting. Okay, so reconnaissance and footprinting, the art of getting maximum information about the target is known as reconnaissance. Reconnaissance and footprinting can be used interchangeably. Like you can use footprinting or reconnaissance. Basically, both are the same. With footprinting, by this, basically these are the first phases of an attack where the attacker gets as much information as possible. And once you have this information, you will keep this information safe for further step. Okay, there are 2 methods or 2 types of reconnaissance. First is passive reconnaissance and second is active reconnaissance. So what do we mean by passive reconnaissance? In this type of reconnaissance or footprinting, the target, like in this we are getting the target information without any direct interaction. For example, like we are not going to directly interact with the target or with any computer or with any network. What we will do in this type of attack is we get the maximum information of any company using the tools which are freely available on the internet. For example, Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, job boards, Google Maps, website searches of that company or of the target, archive.org, Shodan, Whois, Appnik, iplocation.net, etc. So we will look at these tools later when we will do our lab. So this is how passive reconnaissance is done, and what kind of information we can get with this. The target information such as name of the company, employees, documents, technologies in use, website, location, etc. So this is passive reconnaissance. Then comes the active reconnaissance. In active reconnaissance, what we do is we get the direct interaction with the target. For example, we do the port scanning, we use traceroute, we can use netcat, nmaps, and social engineering. So social engineering is also active reconnaissance because we are actively like interact with the employee of that company or with the user over the telephone and stuff like that to gain the information. And port scanning is also kind of active reconnaissance because we are interacting directly with the target. So the port scanners come in active reconnaissance as well as in the scanning phase. What information we can get from this type of attack or active reconnaissance is that IP addresses, location and address, DNS information, who is information, about the company also, open ports, what kind of ports are open, passwords, with social engineering, of course, like I can just call this guy and just make him my friend and I can ask him, okay, what kind of passwords you guys are having. So maybe he will, over a drink or something or over a good food, he can just leak his password. Then what kind of operating system the company is using or that person is using, what kind of network and network equipment these guys are using. So this is the information what you can get from the active reconnaissance and passive reconnaissance. Okay, now about the countermeasures. The first and foremost step is to educate employees and users and explain them what kind of attacks they can expect, explain them what are active and passive reconnaissance and how a stranger can get their information. So just educate them, tell them not to give or not to leak any sensitive information. If a stranger asks them, not to give their passwords and company information. Create strict rules for using social media from within the organization. That's very important because most of the people, when they use social media from their office, they can post like sensitive information, and then once it is posted, you guys have no control over it. Limit posting information on the internet. Again, be very careful while what you are posting. Secure your servers as much as possible. Try not to leak a lot of information because a lot of people can get sensitive information from your web servers, from your emails, and which we will see in our upcoming videos. Then you must create a security policy, and this policy must indicate what kind of sites user can access while working, and if there's a like can they use Facebook or social media, and what kind of policies to follow. And then use encryption wherever possible so that in case if the data is leaked, it's in encrypted form and it's difficult for user. So this is some basic information what is a reconnaissance and how we can countermeasure the effects of such attack. So in our next video we will take a look at some tools used for reconnaissance and some practical lab.